Okay, so hey everyone, um, I'm just going to go into my PowerPoint. So these are my interesting facts about sports facilities, venues, teams in England, as I'm from England. So I wanted to enlighten you on some teams and facilities from England. Okay, so my first fact is Port Vale Soccer Club. Usually teams, especially English soccer teams, are named after where they are found, or at least part of their name has reference to where they are located. So I'm from Nottingham. So we have Notts County and Nottingham Forest football team in Nottingham. And so Port Vale has no reference to location or like reference to where they are located in terms of the name. They are the only team in England who does not follow the trend, and they currently play in the fourth tier of English soccer. I found this an interesting fact, not only due to the name not relating to where they are found, but also because their name actually has references to where the ports of the Trent and Mersey canals meet, which is in Stoke-upon-Trent. Okay, my second fact is the home of England soccer, Wembley Stadium. So, unlike most national teams, Wembley Stadium is the facility for England's national soccer team, and most national teams do not have a facility dedicated just to use for them. And England's Wembley is the home of soccer for England. It has the biggest seating capacity for all stadium facilities in the country, with a possible 90,000 seats that can all be found without an obstructed view to the field. So that means there's no poles, pillars, or angles where you cannot see the field, and everyone has a view that is completely not obstructed. It's also very famous for the arch that can be found above on top of the stadium, which spans 350 meters and is the longest single-span roof structure in the world. It is visible across most of London, and it is lit up at night in colour, mostly the national team colours. My final fact has to do with Lord's Cricket Ground. Of course, being from England, I had to include a cricket fact. So the reason behind the stadium being named Lord's is after the architect who designed the stadium, Thomas Lord. Up until 1864, sheep were actually used to keep the grass short and the field level by allowing them to graze upon the grounds themselves. This facility is also famous because it's one of the venues that hosts the Ashes cricket competition between England and Australia every other 2 years, depending on who has played the home tie. This year it was Australia, so the next 2 years it will be England. The competition, like I said, occurs every 2 years and is named the Ashes because in 1862, when Australia got their first ever win on English soil, the papers published that English cricket had actually died and the body would be cremated and taken back to Australia. So soon after this, the trophy for the competition was actually created and is still today in use, and it is a tiny little urn which has one of the balls that was cremated in 1862, the remains inside of that trophy. And these are my references. So hope you learned something new about English sports facilities and venues. And